So it's a property rights issue. It's also a zoning issue, and let me explain what I mean about that. The way zoning works, for the most part, you either live in the city or you live unincorporated. And the people who live in unincorporated areas, why do they live there for the most part? Because they don't want to put up with zoning and all that. Well, now they're trying to create this third thing where it's not a city and it's not incorporated, but yet it's zoned. So there's yet another legal, even if it wasn't about property rights, there's another legally troubling aspect to it right there. So I'll just hit some other quick points and then I'll sit down. It does affect tax revenues. It affects land property values. It affects tax revenues. Guess who depends on tax revenues? School districts. A whole lot of it. So it affects so many things. And what really bothers me, other than the fact that it's completely unconstitutional, it's completely non-conservative, it's really un-American if people understand, oh, you protect the water. No, it's not about the water, because I can show you right here. It doesn't have anything to do with the water. This is, y'all remember Van Helsing in the Dracula movies? He has a little black bag. Dracula would come along and he had whatever in here to kill him. Check this out. I got it all. I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring them on, because I got it in here. It's all in here. Anything they can throw out there on this stuff, I got an answer for it. But common sense isn't how you win this fight. It's not about common sense. The problem is we're outvoted. I wish our judge was like y'all's, but I'm fighting one of the most liberal people in Arkansas, and he's been in office for 20 years. But he did say, and I'm telling you, you can still fight this stuff. We have held on like a bulldog and yelled and screamed and made clowns out of it, whatever. I don't care. Anything to get our points across. And he said he's been in office 20 years. And before that, he was the mayor of Little Rock. And before that, so he's been in public office 30 years. He said this is the biggest fight he's ever had. And I'm like, good. Because you know what? Sheila and I and my wife, we didn't know what we were getting into. Some of there would be a justice of the peace and and part-time meetings every now and then. Yeah, okay. Walked in, I'm like, holy, y'all know Donnie Copeland? He got me into this. I don't know if y'all know him or not. I'm glad I am, though. I'm an accidental expert, and I feel we are outvoted on our quorum court. And how we have delayed things and slowed things down, and we bought another year recently to try to, once again, water it down or kill it. It's providential, because one of the judge will like to say, you got enough votes, you can tell everyone else to go home. They've had enough votes to just shut us down the whole time, and they haven't, because we've been able to fight hard. Did y'all ever see that thing, was it Rand Paul, or no, it wasn't Rand Paul, the guy that was running for VP, and he was like, science, and it showed like little lightning bolts into it. We were like, we keep hitting them with science, so, which only goes so far, unfortunately. But anyway, what it really comes down to is data versus fear. We had the executive director of Metro Plan, who helps the city of Little Rock and the county plan on, and he got up and made this big appeal about the Dust Bowl and global warming and da-da-da-da. And I said, can I ask you a question? He said, yeah. I said, did any of those relate to the watershed? Well, no. So that's what you just got to do. You got to dispel that fear and bring it back to the facts. But there's another thing I want to leave with y'all. If I don't mention anything else tonight, nobody wants to fight this one issue. But we have in Arkansas, I think there's only 2 states in the entire union that have these. Our property rights have what's called allodial property rights. And those are the strongest level of property rights you can have. But nobody wants to test it in court. So if it comes down to it, don't forget that. We have property. Our property rights are evidently so strong, we're not even supposed to have property taxes. So everybody's so scared to bring up this legal issue. Right? So write that down. Think about it. Allodial property rights. I think it's Allodial.
It's Article 2, Section 28 in the Arkansas Constitution.
My man right there. Talk now justice. Bring in the truth.
Just talk to him.
Write that down, because I really feel, and I hate to say this because we are outvoted, I think eventually the land use plan will pass in Pulaski County, even though we've slowed it down and we've defanged it to a certain point. And I'm hoping the lawsuits start flying like crazy, and I hope it just falls under the weight of its illegal, unconstitutional offensiveness. So, other than that, there's so much more I could talk about, But I just wanted to kind of bring in, those are the points. It's property rights. The data that they'll use to try to justify this, I guarantee you, will not hold up to scrutiny. And then you're going to have to deal with the fact that people are going to be voting for it anyway or pushing for it, and there's something else going on. But you'll never be able to get them to admit publicly that there's a deeper agenda than what they're trying to push, because the facts won't stand up. So anyway, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for letting me just get up here and yak.
We're going to let you keep doing a little yakking.
Okay, but I'm going to sit down. But okay. Yeah.
You'll have to show us how to build one of those stakes so we can
get
through the heart of this.
You got to have your van. Another thing I want to point out, a good friend of mine, a political friend, gave me this book called Terrible 1313 Revisited. And this was written in 1963. And it talks about eroding. Everyone pays attention to federal politics, and everyone pays attention to state politics, but the strongest level of government that you can have is your local government. And if your local government isn't strong, it doesn't matter, because anybody else can come along and push you around. And this talks about the concerted effort that's been going on for decades to erode local government and go to more metro regions of government, which is exactly what this watershed stuff is, which is exactly what Agenda 21 is. So this is nothing new. This stuff has been going on for a long time. If anybody wants to look at this after the meeting, write it down, go find your own copy, you're welcome to. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.